So everyone wants to cancel their online course. Everyone is throwing their digital products out of the window. Everyone is afraid, okay? Amy Porterfield announced that she is closing down her program. Because of that, everyone on Threads has been going crazy. Everyone has been spewing vitriol on Threads about the entire situation. Everyone feels like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have an online course anymore. If I release it, it's going to fail. What is actually happening in the online course industry? It is 2026. We are only a few days into January. It is January 13th today, and Amy Porterfield announced that she is closing down her program, right? And because of that, everyone on Threads has been going crazy. Everyone has been spewing vitriol on Threads about the entire situation. And I think that people are missing a few things when they think about what is actually happening in the online course industry. First of all, I want to say I've been around this space for a very long time. I want to say around 12 years now. I've been around the space. And I've also had my own online courses. I've also impacted so many people in the online course space. I've taught people how to get on camera, sell their courses, get confident on camera, create content, create videos, create online course videos. I've worked with so many online course companies and adjacent companies. And so I feel like this is something that I have to talk about. Now, usually I would probably more than likely shy away from this kind of topic or just not say anything because I'm like, my feelings. I am so passionate about this stuff, but this year I do want to talk about this stuff more on the front end because I do on the back end in my programs and coaching. And so I have a lot to say about how I feel about this. So the first thing that I want to say is kudos to Amy, because you have to have so much power in a space to be able to announce that you are closing your own online course. Hello, and have the industry in complete shambles. Okay, that's the first thing I want to say. You know, people have their thoughts about Amy Porterfield, her work, who she is, and all of those things, and everyone is entitled to their own thoughts. However, I think that if you can have that much power of just saying, I am me, I am closing down my own course, and people begin to feel like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. My entire course is going to fail because Amy's closing down her course. Hello, that says a lot. Now, Amy is a leader in the industry, of course, and there are so many women that she's impacted, me included. I've worked with her before, and I love what she does. Amy Porterfield is not for everyone. Zaylee Barkley is not for everyone. If you are listening to this, you are not for everyone either. And I think that is one of the hardest things for people to come to terms with. None of us is for everyone. And so Amy has been in the industry for a really long while. And of course, she has rebranded herself a few times and she's going through a rebrand now. But I think this is the biggest stink that people have made about Amy Porterfield rebranding and launching something new along the way. And it's really interesting to watch people's behavior. And a lot of people are also claiming that Amy is a grifter, but using their claims of her being a grifter to market their own online courses and services and all of these things. And that's really interesting to look at as well. So I've been in the online course space for a while. And what I want to say is before 2020, before, the pandemic and all of that, the online course space was its own space, right? And because we were all on the inside of our homes, our lives, our businesses, and all of these things for, let's say, for the duration of, the pandemic and everything, the world was shut down. And what I feel like happened, and I want you to tell me what you're thinking about this as well. If you've been in the online course space for a while, or if you've been taking online courses since years ago, or whatever it is, I feel like what happened is during that time, there was a big boom. Everyone was inside. And a lot of people started thinking about their services as, how can I share more on the internet? How can I make more money on the internet? And this little space or this little industry, not little, but you get what I'm saying, was now exposed to the whole world. The things that the people in the online course world were doing, people were not really aware of it. And so now, being that everyone was inside on the internet marketing became bigger and bigger and bigger. And so the online course space was one of the spaces that experienced that expansion. Now, that being said, many industries expanded as well. I've been creating content for over a decade. And so now content creation is the job that everyone wants, is the thing that everyone wants to do. And this also expanded because we were all inside and on our phones. The industry is now in a different place, right? Remember, at that time, we also had TikTok kind of explode as well and create a new type of content, a new way for people to make money, a new way for us to garner attention. So the industry has now matured in a way to where people have to find different ways to offer their products, services, digital courses, online experiences, and all that jazz. Everything is shifting. And in order for us to still impact people with the work that we were placed here to do, we all have to find ways to shift along with the industry as well. That is exactly how I am looking at this. And if you have an online course, you have a coaching program, you have a product that you are selling, times have changed. And so now you have to think about, how can I now change with time? I always tell this story. I remember working in mortgage banking, working with older people and hearing those people complain every single day when systems change, when new things were happening. And I cannot lie, I always told myself, I don't want to be one of those people that are so afraid of change or not in a place mentally where I feel like the change is working against me instead of for me. Nothing is constant in this world but change. And that can feel very, very scary. We're in a very different time right now. We're in a time where we don't trust people because of how we feel about the way that things are being run around us. And so that lack of trust is always going to show up, whether it is where we are buying things that we feel like we're not getting the value for what we pay for. Even when we go to the grocery store, we feel like we're getting so little food for the money that we are paying, and the food is over processed and all kinds of things that, are happening because of that. And also, like, this is the information that we're getting, from our online sources as well. We're scrolling more than usual. We are searching for solutions, right? So we're in a strange time and we are navigating things that we have never navigated before. And so if you have a business, now you have to figure out, how can I shift and change in order for my business to thrive still? When we think about companies like Weight Watchers, for example, Weight Watchers was really focused on their own frameworks and ways that they can get people to eat better, like their point system and such. And they have that still. But recently I saw an ad where they are now adding support for people who are looking to use GLP-1s along with their programs. And so I remember when I was in college, way back in the day, using Weight Watchers. And now, because the health industry is really about GLP-1s and, helping people to lose weight and reduce inflammation and all of those things, think about it. Weight Watchers as a company would be crazy not to join in on that conversation, right? Or to shift their marketing in order to support people who are already on that journey. Let's look at Chipotle or these restaurants that are now including protein and everything, because right now protein is the trend. So when we think about protein, we want to think about Chipotle, who is now offering lower priced protein bowls where they only give you chicken. And so people are sharing on social media how they are buying the protein bowls, buying some rice from Chipotle, and having that meal come up to like $6 or $7. We are in a different time. And so bigger companies are also shifting the way that they serve their audience. They're shifting the product that they are offering or the experience they are offering to their customers. And so obviously in the online course world, in the online world, there are shifts and changes happening as well. I hope this is making sense the way that I am thinking about all of this, because these are things that are happening around us every single day. And I want you to think about this when you think about your online course experience or your coaching program or the way that you are marketing marketing your online courses or products. All of that is shifting, and you are going to have to figure out if this is something that I know I'm really pushing out into the world because I'm supposed to. This is my work, this is my life's work. Then you have to figure out how you can grow and shift with the industry that you essentially work in. So when we think about Amy closing down Digital Course Academy, which was her program, she announced that she is now doing something else. Now, I'm not going to go into the specifics of it because I want you to go listen to her podcast episode, which I'll be sure to link down below. But I want you to think about that. Like, okay, so now she's offering something new. She's found a new way. It's the same as Chipotle offering protein bowls because, well, it's not the same thing, but you get what I'm saying. She is now finding a new way to serve the people that need her. And it could be like, have you even thought about the idea of maybe she is launching her new coaching program to serve the people that were really successful at her old program. And so now she's finding a way to take those people further up to the top. Think about it. Like, oh my gosh, that could be why she's launching this new experience. And so I feel like her announcement made a lot of people afraid. Like I said before, the times we're in right now is already scary. The conversations that people are having about the economy, the way that we are also spending is so different. And so it's not far-fetched for you to think that she is closing her programs down because courses are dead or courses no longer work. That is the furthest thing from the truth. So my thought, because I don't want to make this too long, is to let you know that online courses are not going anywhere. You are just going to have to get better at how you present your offer, how you are selling your offer. You are probably going to have to dig deeper than just AI to create your sales page. You're going to have to get closer to the customer that you are serving and not pull things out of thin air to be able to market to this person specifically. You are really going to have to dig deeper. Of course, you're going to have to work harder to sell your programs because of the space that we're in. But harder doesn't mean that you give up. Harder means that you begin to learn the skills that are required to sell your program or your online course or your product in this kind of time. So even myself, I have been coaching. I launched my coaching, I would say relaunch my coaching membership 2 years ago. And I relaunched another experience called the Spotlight Studio where I coach twice a month as well. I'll leave all the information for that down below, but I'm just sharing that to say coaching is my thing. I feel like people get the most from my online experiences when I can coach and pour. And so that's always been a thing for me. My programs are around video, around showing up on camera, around selling on camera, because these are the things that people really miss out on when it's time to promote or sell a program. And so when I think about marketing now in this day and age or this time, you are going to have to show up more for what you believe in and the transformations that you believe your programs can provide for people. And so in this season, it is going to be a lot of live experiences, a lot of live videos, a lot of live coaching, right? Now we're getting back to the meat and bones of it all. The industry is leveling itself out again. So you are going to have to figure out, how can I implement live experiences? How can I take people out on retreats and still teach my curriculum? How can I touch people more? How can I be more intentional about pouring and serving? How can I ensure that people are seeing me? We need to see each other, friend, which is why I speak so much about video and visibility, because it is so important that you are able to show up to serve people, learn more about who you are, how you can help, and how you serve. Like, what is the vehicle for doing that? Don't give up on what you've been working on. Don't feel like your knowledge and expertise is dead because someone on the internet told you online courses are dead because Amy Porterfield closed her online course program. Let's think about it more like, how can we be more intentional? How can we operate in more alignment? How can we really show up for what we believe in? How can we serve by giving different experiences to people? For me, I know that this year I am going to show up live even more more. Live streaming is my thing. And so in this season, I understand that that is a part of what is required. So you have to ask yourself, how am I buying? How am I consuming lately? What are the experiences that are allowing me to understand my needs, even though I am spending my money more intentionally? How am I spending it? What am I loving when I look at other business owners? What do I feel like is working? And so for me, I know that is spending time live with others. So guys, this was another episode of the Brave on Video podcast. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you find it in yourself to think for yourself, to observe for yourself, to do the research for yourself, to learn and invest in yourself so that you can accomplish the things that you put out there. Do not let someone else's thoughts, including mine, dictate how you are going to accomplish your goals based on how you decide to set your goals for the first few days of the year, if you did, right? So not because everyone is saying online courses are dead means you throw out the thought that you are going to promote your online course extra this year. Online courses are here to stay. You just have to be a bit more intentional about how you are showing up to sell them. Oh wait, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you do not miss another video or episode. I love you and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Chat later. Bye.